Hey guys, Jason here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to play some metal chords on acoustic guitar. This is going to be a two-part series. In part one here, I'm going to show you how to play some really cool chords in the key of E minor. Before we get to the lesson, I need some coffee. Alright, so those are the cool metal chords I want to teach you on acoustic. Now, these aren't full chords, obviously. We're only playing like 3 to 4 strings here, but playing them on the lower notes, they give you that real dark metal style sound. And of course, one of those chords, that first chord I played, probably remind you of quite a few Metallica songs from way back. But let's start with that E minor. Let's start with the way I'm playing that E minor, and I'll throw up the tablatures to all the chords here as well. Now with that chord, it's very similar to playing a power chord. As you see on the tablature, the first string and the fourth string are open. And then the only notes you're fretting are the second and third string, that A and D string. And again, it's almost like playing a power chord there, because you're playing the second fret on that second string, and the next string over, you're going to the fourth fret. So it would be like a B power chord almost. Without that riff. Anyway, so that's kind of what you're going to get that in your head. That's what you're doing. You're sort of playing like a power chord in between two open strings, and it gives you this sound. Now here's something that you can do. You can take that and you can pick that several different ways. Anyway, it's pretty much going to sound really, really cool. But I was kind of doing the pattern. I hope I remember this pattern. Usually I forget what I play like 10 seconds later. Anyway, I think this is it. I'm not going to throw up the tablature for that specific pattern. Basically, all I'm doing is I'm just arpeggiating each note all the way down. And then I'm going back up. Almost all the way back up, and then go back to that third string. So you can kind of figure that out just by hearing it. Now the next chord I want to show you is, it could be played as an F sharp, but it also could be played as a D. Like if someone were playing a D chord on acoustic, you could play what I'm about to show you here and it would fit. Or it can just be an F sharp. And this one is really simple. So take the finger configuration that you had for the E minor I showed you. All we're doing is changing one note. And well, we're changing two notes here, but we're just going to move one finger around to make that happen. That first finger, take it off of the second string, second fret. Hopefully you guys can hear all the birds. That's why I love sitting out here, man. There's like all kind of birds out here. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so take that that first finger on the second string, second fret, and move it over to the first string, second fret. And that's going to leave that second string open, so it's going to sound like this. Tabs up there as well. So you've still got two strings that are open. It's just two different strings that are open this time. That fourth string's still open, but now instead of the first string being open, you've got the second string open. Now the next chord is going to be a G, a dark metal chord G on acoustic. This is going to be very similar. So as you notice, I kind of did like a walk up when you go back to the first part of the video when I'm playing that little whatever I was playing. I should make that a song, I guess. I don't really change my fingers around a whole lot. You know, my hand stays kind of in the same place. I'm only changing like 1 or 2 fingers. So for the G, keep that same configuration that we just had, right? Playing the F sharp. Now you're going to change 2 notes here. You're going to go up by hitting the 3rd note, the 3rd fret on the 1st string, and I'll take my middle finger for that. No, I was not flipping you guys off. I don't do that. So move it up there, and then you're going to put that 1st finger back down on the 2nd string, 2nd fret, kind of like when we had it for the E minor chord, and it's going to make a sound like this. Very cool sound. So if you play those 3 chords together, you get this. Just play around with that. This is where I want you guys to just really let that creativity come out in you. You know, don't necessarily pick what I'm picking, but just kind of make up your own patterns here. And just mess around with just those 3 chords. We're not done with the video yet because I've got 2 more really cool chords I want to show you. But just hanging around in that area, that E minor, that F sharp, that G, just playing those and coming up with different ways to play them and different, you know, different picking patterns, you're going to come up with some really, really cool stuff. And in fact, if you want to leave in the comments like some of the things that you come up with and how that sounded, you know, I'd love to hear from you. So now I want to move on to 2 more chords, and we're going to go to a D and a C. And this time, instead of hitting 4 notes, we're only going to be playing 3 notes. So this is really simplified, but again, these chords sound very metal, at least very metal to me, because they have that really dark, sinister, eerie tone to them. So here's the D. Now, it's kind of a rip-off of Def Leppard. Hysteria, which was a pretty cool album, even if you're not a Def Leppard fan. I always loved that little riff they played. But that's the chord. And again, play around with the picking patterns. But just get the notes down at first. If you want to just strum it, that's fine. Now, one quick trick before I show you the C is go back to that E minor for a moment. Then go to the D. Now for the C chord, and this is going to be very simple. It's basically going to be the same configuration that we played for the D, but we're just going to move everything up a couple frets here. So instead of playing this here, just move it up here. Same 3 strings, but your frets are going to be 3, 2, and then open. It's basically playing a C chord. That sounds kind of country. We're going to play country. I'm just kidding. Some country's actually okay. But it's basically a C chord, but you're only hitting those first 3 strings of that chord to give it that dark metal sound. Now, one little trick here on this, I'm going to show you 2 ways to play this actually. You've got this way, which is the frets are 2, 3, open. Now try playing 2, 4, open. You get this sound. Now, for some of you, that probably just opened up a new world of just extremely killer metal sounding chords on acoustic, because that sounds cool. So anyway, try this way, 3, 2, open, and then try 3, 4, open. So now let's put this thing all together. I need to take a sip of coffee before it gets cold. It's a little chilly out here as I'm recording this video in December. Now granted, I do live in Florida, and Florida doesn't really get cold, but it's a little chilly this morning. So I kind of want to go back and just put all of these chords together. And I'm not going to overcomplicate this for you. I'm just going to play each chord one time, but we're going to play it in a pattern, in like a sequence here. So let's start from the beginning of the first chord we learned, the E minor. I'm not going to pick these out. We're just going to strum each one to make it simple. Alright guys, that is our Metal Chords on acoustic guitar. Again, this is part 1. Hang around for part 2 because I'm going to show you some patterns in the key of A minor, but those chords are going to be in like entirely different places on the fretboard. So I'll try to post that, really soon after I post this video. And I hope this video helped you guys. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video, if this did indeed help you. And I really hope you got something out of it. And guys, if you want to support me in a different way, I have these Keep It Metal mugs on sale on my shop. So that is a tremendous help to me. It's got the logo here on both sides. You guys know I always say Keep It Metal at the end of my videos. So there's a link to actually go to this mug. And I've got all kind of shirts and hoodies and all kind of merch on my shop there. So definitely check that out. There's a link in the YouTube description. And guys, until the next video, as always, keep it metal.